Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Below 500 podcast. I'm Wiz.
I'm Gooch.
I'm Hunter.
Before we get back into things, I need to clarify some of the things that I was called out on for in recent weeks. For all my Cowboys comments, I've came off as that annoying Cowboys fan. I want to let everyone know I don't try and be that annoying Cowboys fan. I do.
Just comes naturally.
It comes naturally, but I'm not the people who genuinely think we're going to win the Super Bowl every single year. So I'm going to clarify some of my takes real quick. The reason I'm so high on them this year. One, we have the second easiest schedule in the league this year. Two, we have Dan Quinn, who is a proven head coach in recent years, or proven defensive coach. We've always hired these old ass defensive coordinators who have, a good record from 10, 20 years ago, and they end up stinking it up with the Cowboys. He drafted almost all defense in the draft. Maybe he knows what he's doing. Maybe he has a plan. Maybe we're going to be a top half defense and with our offense be something good. And let's see. I was not prepared for this. I don't want to say all this, but the reason I'm optimistic and the reason I've talked shit about things like the Buccaneers and beating them week one, because if we are as good as I could hope and have this easy schedule, if we do come out and beat the Bucs week one, then we've shut everyone up. We have an easy schedule to ride out. We make the playoffs, and maybe with how good our offense is, a decent defense, we might have a shot. It's not crazy to think. So before we got on anything else, I wanted to ask y'all. I don't know if y'all have it up, but if y'all were to guess the Cowboys record, what would it be? I think I said like 14-3.
Yeah, that's what you said. Jesus. All right. I don't even know like what y'all's schedule is. What is y'all like non-division games? The Bucks. Y'all play the Chiefs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all play the Panthers.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up real quick and screen share. But just to get I know y'all won't be as high on the schedule as I am, but like y'all look at this and y'all will see a lot of wins, I'm hoping.
Well, yeah, y'all are playing literally the easiest division in football.
In the second easiest schedule. So let's see. Ooh, where's it at?
Give me 8 and 9.
Shut up, Hunter. I'll kill myself.
Write it down. Give me 8 and 9. I'm taking
All right.
9.
All right. I'll go. I say, let's go. I'm gonna give y'all a week win L. Week 2. I'll give you the dub in week 2.
Over Eagles. The Chargers?
Chargers.
What? Who's stopping?
Yeah.
On the Chargers defense, who's stopping the Dallas offense? Dallas is going to score 67 points.
Melvin Ingram.
Thank you, Gooch.
Anyways, Eagles dub, Carolina dub. So what are we at? 3-1. New York dub. We're 4-1. New England L.
See, but on your prediction, okay.
But we weren't going to get Julio Jones when I predicted that.
Okay.
Now we're getting Julio Jones. We're winning. Vikings. I'll go dub. Denver.
Never mind.
I'm gonna go L. Falcons dub. Kansas City L. Raiders dub. Saints could go either way, but I'll be generous and give y'all the dub. And then honestly, I think after the Saints, I could see y'all splitting with Washington. So let's say y'all split with Washington and win out the rest. So that gives y'all L against Washington, L against Kansas City, L against Denver, New England, and Tampa. So what's that? 12-5?
12-5. Are you assuming Aaron Rodgers is in Denver?
It's not out of the question. So yeah, 12-5. Hey, 12-5, super respectable. Y'all win the division with 12-5. But like I said, there's a couple games in there that I think could go either way. I've got I've got y'all splitting with Washington. Y'all could easily lose both against Washington.
Mm-hmm. But
I think
looking
I
at the
gave
schedule, there's hope.
I
There's
gave y'all
reason.
the dub. I gave y'all the dub against the Saints. I think y'all could lose that one against the Saints. And I wouldn't write off Arizona either.
So what? That's 3 more losses. What's that? So 12-5. That's 9-8.
9-8. So I think y'all are realistically in the 9-8 to 12-5 region.
But that's like after coming off such a disappointing year, where even
But it wasn't disappointing. It was unhealthy. Like,
yeah,
if you just take away the injuries, y'all are not a 5-16 team. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody expects y'all to go 5-16 again.
5 and
What
11.
did I say?
5-16. 5
Yeah,
and 11.
you get it. 5 wins.
Yeah, but yeah. So I think the team's hungry too.
Hungry for what?
Oh
Zeke hungry for more cereal?
Hey, that is the greatest goddamn video ever.
Weren't you just talking the other day that you would be mad to see Tony Pollard play over Zeke?
No, that was someone else. I said they should split the steps. Tony Pollard is a really good dual threat running back.
He's probably the best backup in the league.
Him and Zeke, if Zeke can return to his old form a little bit, him and Zeke might be a better 1-2 punch than what the Browns have. And he touches the ball 2 times a game.
Oh no, Browns.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, get this
So
schedule off my.
Hunter,
Oh,
well, Hunter, are you gonna throw something out there?
or are you sticking with 8 and 9?
8 and 9.
I looked at the schedule. I went through it. You don't. I think you want me to stick with 8 and 9.
8 and 9, but still, like,
because I looked at the schedule and now I'm looking like could be 6 and 11. But
oh my God. Okay,
hey, that's still better than last year.
So Gooch, who knows what he's talking about, says 9 and 8 at worst. I'm not crazy. There's hope. And if we do come out and beat Tampa Bay week 1 with this easy schedule, if we come out and beat Tampa
happening, buddy.
Okay. We come out and beat Tampa Bay week 1. Now, do you have more hope that we're beating some of those teams we lost?
No, I think if y'all beat Tampa Bay week 1, y'all fall into the Chargers trap game week 2.
Actually, I just got
1-1 either way.
I just got some PTSD.
How do you have a week 2 trap game?
Yeah, remember 3 years ago or 2 years ago we were 3-0. We lost 1 to Green Bay. Then we lost to the Jets. I wanted to kill myself.
How do you have a week 2 trap game? That's funny.
But anyways, we'll get into what Hunter's been itching for this for like 3 weeks now. Big NBA episode today.
So transitioning to the NBA, the regular season is over. It is playoff time. Now, with it being playoff time, the teams that didn't make it, they're kind of struggling. Organizations might want to change some things. So we got some NBA head coaches that are on the hot seats. First, which is kind of a surprise to me, not really surprised, but it's weird to hear this name, but it's Terry Stotts of the Portland Trailblazers. What are y'all's opinions on that? Y'all think maybe Portland wants to shake it up a bit?
So I don't want to spend too much time on each one of these, but if I had to like sum it up quickly, do you think the Blazers aren't getting over the hump because of Terry Stotts, or do you think just Lillard and CJ McCollum aren't as good as Kawhi and PG
I don't think it's a talent issue.
No,
I mean, because like I think Dame's as good as anybody out there.
Yeah.
Yes, like, it's just what the perception of it is that they've been very successful in terms of making the playoffs, but it's just that they're too consistent.
Well, like they're what I say about like when they were the Thunder were for a couple of years. They're in like that 8 to like 6 seed like purgatory where like you're good enough to make the playoffs, but you're not really good enough to win anything, and you're too good to get any good draft picks.
Yeah, it's like they're at their plateau.
Yeah,
and people inside are possibly thinking they're going to move on in favor for a bigger name target.
Yeah. So if I had to put it simpler, give a good example, it'd be the Warriors. Because remember, they were matching up with the Clippers every playoffs. It's like a 5 or 6 seed and getting bounced every year with Mark Jackson. They were the same exact team the year before and the year after when they signed Steve Kerr. they just turned around completely. So I don't know if they're feeling like they're just stagnant, they're not getting better, and they feel like they have the right pieces, then do it.
And like I think it would like have a lot to do with what's going on like behind closed doors. Like I think like if we were to find out that like Dame's not happy with the
Oh
coach,
yeah.
then yeah, I think he's probably out the door.
Oh yeah.
But
Well, Dame's been reported being happy there altogether. He wants to stay in Portland.
But
But I see him staying if they make if they make it to the Western Conference Finals. I see him staying. But if he gets bounced now in the second round, I see them moving on.
James Harden has said, I don't even want to get into it too much, but he said year and year again, I want to be with Houston. But just falling short over and over again takes a toll on you.
Yeah, I mean, Paul George said he wanted to stay in OKC the year before he left.
He said he wanted to stay in Indiana his whole career, like the year before he demanded to trade. I do and don't blame the players at the same time, but like if.
Yeah. All right, so real quick, do y'all see him staying or leaving?
The coach?
Yeah. I think it all hinges on what happens in the playoffs. Yeah. Like I think if they have a bad showing in the playoffs, he's gone.
Yeah, I'd agree with Gooch on that.
All right, next would be Nate Bjorkgren of the Indiana Pacers. Reportedly has not meshed well with the players. TJ Warren requested a trade whenever he got announced as head coach. And whenever they didn't want to grant him his trade, he opted for season-ending surgery instead. Also, reportedly, a longtime assistant coach resigned because he no longer wanted to work with him.
Oh, so yeah. Give me him to be out the door.
Yeah, I think he's out because that's a deep team. That kind of like that team gives me not exactly the same, but like Atlanta Hawks vibes. Couple like mid 2010s, whenever they like were number one team, and like no one was like MVP talent on that team, but everyone was just a A1 contributor.
Yeah,
so that team is stacked.
Yeah, the only sad thing is that injuries did play a part of it this season too.
But if you're that good and you think you're that good, I think they're that good. I think you switch out the coach if players aren't happy.
Oh yeah, I mean I see him being gone, but you got to think Brogdon was out, Sabonis missed games, Miles Turner missed games. When they got LeVert, he was out for a long time.
Yeah, but I mean it's not like they were like a top 5 team in the East before that. Like, yeah. And if you got that many players out, and like you brought up the injury thing, well, one of the injury things was elective because of the coach. So
yeah.
But like I said, they could be a top team. They give me Atlanta Hawks vibes with the right coach.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think he's gone.
Yeah, me too. So next is kind of similar to Mike's thoughts, but Mike Budenholzer, Milwaukee Bucks. He's had a .713 win percentage, 3 seed this year, but kind of plateaued again. Can't get past the hump with Giannis already there.
So this one, I think, is like I don't think like with Portland, it's like make the conference finals or fire the coach. Mm-hmm. I think with Milwaukee, it's make the conference finals, and then even if you make the conference, if you lose in like 5 or even 6, and like it's not like a real tough 6, like if you don't really like show up in the conference finals and compete, he's gone. Like this Milwaukee team has no reasons to have not at least, I won't say been to a finals, but at least made it deep into a conference final series.
I'm gonna agree with Gooch.
Yeah, I just see it's to me it's finals or bust.
So
yeah, I agree with that.
When you think about the 2 teams they've lost to get to the finals, I think they lost to the Heat before the conference finals.
Last year round 2.
But I mean, still, like you should have lost. The Heat were hot. But you should.
Well, and like I don't think it's all the coach's fault. I think the players that they have there are like part of the problem. Like I mean, I've said before, Giannis is a very game plannable player. Like everyone knows what they're getting from Giannis now, and when it gets into these deep series type matchups, good playoff caliber teams can account for what Giannis brings to the table. So I think that's a big part of like what's going on in Milwaukee, but you're not cutting Giannis or trading Giannis.
No, they're just signing to an extension.
Yeah, you're going to axe the coach before you axe Giannis.
And I'm going to give one perfect comparison for that at my expense again. But the Rockets took the Warriors to 7. The year after, they lost in 6, and it was a weak 6, like you said, Gooch. Like, it didn't really feel like we ever had any hope of winning that. So if they come out and have a series like that against anyone that's not the finals, like something's got to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all right, this next one, I threw this in here. He's been reported safe, but it's kind of a sticky situation to me. Is Luke Walton. So he's been reported safe, but likely it's because that he has a clause in his contract to where if he's fired, his remaining contract cannot be spread out over several years. It has to be all paid at one time.
So
it's really like, are the Kings in save money mode, or do they want to just go ahead and rebuild? Keep on rebuilding.
So the Kings are better than their record, I would say. And what's the coach's name again?
Luke Walton.
Luke Walton. So Luke Walton,
the previous assistant coach of the Warriors when Steve Kerr was out.
He benefited from Steve Kerr being hurt for some reason, not being able to be on the sidelines. And it's when they had KD too, right? He benefited. He got carried by the greatest team probably ever. Got a job with the Lakers. Lakers was young and inexperienced, and then got fired so LeBron can get his guy and his coach. So I get why there was a perception that he might still be good. But now, just if he doesn't have his entire stacked Warrior squad, he's not.
Yeah. And I think it just comes down to like what you want to do from a GM standpoint. Like you were saying with that clause in his contract. Like if you're ready to lean in to just completely blow it up and do a true rebuild, then yeah, I mean, I think you kind of pull the trigger on that. But if you're not really ready to just eat that much cost and kind of dig yourself a little bit of a hole to climb out of, then I think you just kind of keep kind of trying to go the direction you're going and seeing if you can kind of make chicken salad out of the situation.
And
I just thought it was fishy. Go ahead.
I've had a question for y'all kind of pertaining to like coaches' salaries. So like I know every player and even players who cut the leftover salary and stuff like that goes towards the salary cap. Do coaches go towards the salary cap, or is that like out of like owner's pocket? I've never even thought about that. Like,
I don't think it goes towards the salary cap. I think it's something different.
Like, but it's got to be out of like the team's profit though. Just
I don't think it's from necessarily the salary cap, but probably
something to do with
ownership.
But if you cut a coach and you're still paying him, and then you hire another coach, it's not like it's hurting what players you can sign. It's coming out of someone's pocket.
Well, think about it. Do you think the guys walking up and down the aisles throwing out beer, do you think they're part of the salary cap?
No, but coach is a little different. Like, because why would these billionaire owners really be worrying about having to pay a coach?
Yes.
Well, but you're looking at like, you're not looking at like the Lakers. Like the Lakers aren't worrying about that. You're looking at the Kings. Like I'm not gonna say they're a small market team, but I could realistically see the Kings maybe having like not trouble, but like worrying about like, all right, if I have to eat X amount of millions of dollars to buy out my coach, am I gonna have enough left in the tank to go after insert name of some free agent I want to get in the offseason?
Okay, I get that.
Exactly.
Salary cap comes out of their pocket and stuff like that too.
Right, like that's all money that's coming out of the team's, the owner's bank account. Like,
I think salary cap doesn't. But once you go over it, sorry, Hunter, I keep interrupting.
Oh, you're all right.
But like, salary cap, I think the NBA gives teams money to sign the players. Once you go over, hit the luxury tax, that comes out of owner's pocket, I think. And that's why you see small market teams like Houston,
the luxury tax does.
Not doing it. Houston and OKC having to trade players like OKC had to trade Harden.
OKC used to not have a problem with the luxury tax. We used to be deep in the luxury tax.
Yeah, but that's why y'all got rid of Harden. Y'all didn't want to, at that time, didn't want to.
Yeah.
Well, even after Harden, even in like the KD Russ, like Cantor days, Cantor had us like I can remember we were paying him like, I think it was like 15 million or something. But with his like, when you accounted for the luxury tax, it was costing us like 37 million fucking dollars or something ridiculous.
That's fine.
And like, because I remember like they said like whenever we bought out Carmelo Anthony, it was like a handful of $1 million.
Yeah.
Can't remember how much it was, but in the salary tax, it saved us like $7 million, I think, in salary tax money. It was something just like
there's
3
absurd
times
rules,
what we were
ways it
paying him.
works.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, to kind of show that the Kings are tight on money is that they didn't match Atlanta's offer for Bogdan Bogdanovic, which last year had a breakout season for the Kings. So it's just a weird situation. I was wondering why. I figured he'd be fired because there's no reason they should have been this bad.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but
here's going to be a controversial opinion about the Kings is like Steph Curry is great. Steph Curry had an NBA or a MVP type season, but everyone, Draymond Green, he's a good player, but people he's not scoring. Wiseman was disappointment, and everyone else was disappointment on the team. Really, people are playing great on the Kings all year. Like they had so many good young players. I think all around with Clay hurt, they might be a better team than the Warriors. But just coaching, you put Steve Kerr on both teams, I think maybe the Kings come away with a better record. That's really controversial.
That's a pretty hot take.
I mean,
moving on.
The Warriors aren't deep.
All right. Anyways, we got any more coaches?
Next, yeah, I got like 2 or 3. There's Scott Brooks of the Washington Wizards, which he started off the year pretty soft but finished strong. It's the final year of his contract, but the Wizards have been dealing with a good bit of injuries this year also.
I think he stays. I mean, like I said, they finished hot. They finished way better than a team that everyone thought they were. And I mean, I don't personally know like how Russ feels about him, but I know they have a history. I know they have a history from being in OKC together. Mm-hmm. So I think as long as that relationship is still intact, I think he probably stays.
Yeah, it still is. Russ and Bradley Beal both came out publicly and said they have his high support.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, especially with how they finished out the last half of the season. I think he's staying put right where he's at.
Yeah, so do I.
I'm agree with Gooch.
All right, moving on. We've got Dwayne Casey of the Detroit Pistons. He won Coach of the Year back in 2017 and 2018, and then was fired right after and signed with Detroit. But since then, he's had the 5th worst winning percentage.
What team was he on?
Go ahead and...
He's on the Pistons.
What team was he on when he won those?
Toronto.
Toronto, that's what I thought.
Yeah, go ahead and give me fired again.
Yeah, I do too. They finished with the second.
I just don't think there's any hope in the city of Detroit right now for that franchise. Like,
no, there's not.
I'm gonna say fired, but I'm gonna say it's also at the time not his fault because who is on the Detroit?
Well, yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, name me a player on the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, like
Jeremy Grant.
Okay, I mean, like that's not chill.
It's not who. He's most improved player candidate.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, like, I just don't think there's a lot going on in Detroit right now. And like, I think when you got a team like that where there's like really just nothing really going on in your organization, the easiest way to shake it up, like, you can't get much worse.
Mm-mm.
Fire the coach, bring a new coach in. Maybe you'll get better. Who knows?
I think a chance to have a number 1 pick this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it doesn't matter for that team.
But they're in a win-win situation. Like, you fire the coach, you get a new coach, you do better, then you did a good job.
Yeah.
You fire the coach, you get a new coach, coach does the same. Oh well, you're not any worse than you were before.
Yeah. You just hate to see him go somewhere else and like with better players and do better. See, it was us. We were the problem.
I just feel like if they have a good guard, they do good because they have a good front court. They have Jeremy Grant and they have Isaiah Stewart, which is a pretty promising rookie.
They've got like 10 centers and power forwards on that team.
Oh, I forgot they have Mason Plumlee too. I forgot about him.
They signed like 4 centers last year. Oh my god! And then Christian wouldn't go.
I only got 2 left. I'm wrong. I had Steve Clifford of the Orlando Magic. That's pretty self-explanatory. He's been known to draw competitiveness out of suboptimal rosters, but hasn't done jack shit in Orlando. Finished the season on a 7 losing streak.
If I'm gonna, they've been like the 8 and 7 seed, something like that, in like the past 2-3 years. So it seems like they took a real step back. He also had,
they also traded away Vucevic.
Traded away Vooch, traded away the guy to Denver. What's his name?
Oh, I can't think of his name. Why am I drawing a blank?
who's the injured player? They got
Jonathan Isaac is injured. And Markelle Fultz.
Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz was finally breaking out into something.
Yes, and Jonathan Isaac was drawing a bunch of comps to Kawhi whenever he played.
But I'm gonna say, if you traded Vucevic and that other guy I can't think of right now, you go fire
Aaron Gordon.
Rebuild. Aaron Gordon. You fire and rebuild or reconfigure.
Yeah, I don't see him staying there. I feel like they're gonna get rid of him.
What's D-back, Gooch?
Company I used to work for. Baseball training facility.
Is it like D-bag?
No, it's Dallas Baseball Academy of Texas.
I thought it was like a play on word of douchebag
Nope.
or something.
Nope, it's we got about 27 locations in like 20 different states.
Get it sponsored.
All right, and my last candidate on the hot seat would be Steven Silas of the Houston Rockets. It's his
Fired.
First year. Damn.
It's his first year.
It's his first year, but finished with the worst record in the NBA, and he was handpicked by James Harden.
Nah, Houston don't care about that. They're about to get a top pick, possibly the top pick. They're gonna let him ride it out for one more year.
So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
I'm gonna hype my guy and say it was blatantly obvious when you had guys like Kevin Porter Jr., Christian Wood down the stretch, missing so many free throws down the stretch in games. We were tanking like hell, dealt with injuries, dealt with COVID. We were the worst team because we wanted to be the worst team.
Yeah, it was blatantly obvious.
I will say one thing to kind of it kind of seemed like a good hot take at the beginning of the year. I thought the Mavs would fall off without him because he was their offensive genius. They turned out good this year, but their 3-point percentage fell off this year by a lot.
It's pretty weird how their 3-point percentage fell down, which Porzingis was struggling with for three previously, but this year his 3-point shot has been great.
So he's kind of like what's Utah's coach?
Quinn Snyder.
Quinn Snyder. He's kind of like Quinn Snyder or Greg Popovich, where he is a very pass heavy offense. Like that's why Harden kind of didn't like him that much either, because Harden didn't like passing the ball around. He just like ISOing it up. Mm-hmm. So, and when we were 11-10 at a point, we were actually running some pretty good offense here and there, and I think it'd be idiotic to fire him. I'm gonna hype him up. Say we're winning at least 30 games next year.
Yeah, I got him safe, but an honorable mention, which confuses me, is Brad Stevens. I figured he'd be out of there. I've heard nothing but negative things from the Celtics organization.
Well, he's supposed to be some genius. I don't get it though.
That's enough of the negative talk of the NBA. Let's go towards the teams that made it out of the regular season into the playoffs. This is the first round of the playoffs. We have some games played yesterday. So let's go ahead and talk about the matchups, give our predictions, who will win the series. First up, we've got the Boston Celtics and the Brooklyn Nets.
Nets in 4.
Give me Brooklyn. Yeah. Nets in 3.
I got Brooklyn at 4. They just won today, 104-93. No, it was yesterday.
Yeah, Hunter, I hope you're writing these down because I didn't make the Google Doc, so write them down.
I got you. So you both said 4.
Yeah, and then I'll make it.
Well, I didn't say in anything, but I think the Nets take it in 4 or 5 at the most.
Okay, I'm saying in 4.
Yeah, I need a 4 or 5 here, Gooch.
Give me 5.
They're stuck in the 2000s. Why don't you? I'll just put it in the dock. I have 2 monitors. Look who saved us.
I had computer problems. I didn't make the doc.
Next, we have Washington and Philadelphia. They
Philly in 4.
Philly in 5.
Philly in 4.
Yeah, I got Philly in 5. They played today. They beat the Sixers. Beat the Wizards 125-118.
Yeah, Love Westbrook.
It was even.
Hate to see it. Hate to say it. Philly's too good.
I'm going to say.
There's nothing. The only thing Russell Westbrook loves more than triple doubles is getting bounced in the first round.
Oh my god, they kept it close and even had leads through the third, and kind of like in the fourth, Philadelphia got a little lead, and Washington brought it back. So I think they've got a chance to win one. That's why I say
All
five.
right. Next up, we have two teams that are currently playing as we are recording: the Atlanta Hawks and the New York Knicks. Personally, I have the New York Knicks in 6. It was hard for me to pick this one because I like both teams, but I just can't count against the Knicks. They've shown great resilience this year.
Right now, the score is 52-50 Hawks, and I'm gonna say
it's gonna be a neck and neck series. I wanted to say 7.
I'm gonna say
I'm giving
Hawks
New York
in 6.
Hawks. Ooh, Hawks in 6. I like a Devil's
I
advocate.
the only reason I say is because I think Capella is a good.
Yeah, we know how you
counter.
feel about Capella.
No.
We've heard it.
Nobody. Capella is a good counter to their biggest guy, Julius Randle. So if they
damn, Randall has the size on him. They're not the height, but he is
all right. Here we go. So I'll be the one to say Knicks in 7. And now that we've got Wiz on record with that, I'll throw in like a little sidebar prediction and say it's in 7. And so the tipping point is I think Randall ends up just dominating Capella in at least one game this series and just making Wiz look like a dummy.
I'm not saying he's gonna be bad this series. I think Capella's just a decent counter because right now he's at 7 points and he's 3 for 10.
It's game
I'm
1.
a genius.
Anyways, all right, keep it moving.
Yeah, next up we have two teams that played yesterday in Miami Heat and Milwaukee Bucks. Overtime game. It was fun to watch. Even though Milwaukee won 109-107, I am still picking Miami in 6.
Okay, I got to look up this stat real quick. I'm going right with you with Miami in 6 because they lost by 2 in overtime. And let me see. Jimmy Butler shot 4 for 22. They are winning in 6.
This is one of my favorite matchups because this is a repeat from round 2 last year when the Miami bounced the Bucks. It's really fun to watch. And for the first game going to overtime yesterday, it's gonna be fun to keep an eye on it.
So I was leaning the exact same way, Miami in 6. So strictly for the sake of mixing it up and possibly me getting the edge, give me Miami in 7.
Oh, we should do like
it's still Miami winning.
We should do points, like 1 point for team right, 1 point for in however many games right.
All right,
we'll talk. So give me Miami in 7. We going straight down the bracket?
Are we like we're just doing each side, right? For now?
Yeah. So that's the East. So now we're on to the West.
We're moving on to the Wild Wild West. Portland Trailblazers meet the Denver Nuggets.
Who did I pick in this?
Okay. So Portland
won 123-109.
I was gonna say Denver in like 6. I wanted to say, but I'm gonna say
one. I got scribbles all over my little box. It was hard to pick, but I got Denver in 7.
I'm gonna say Portland in 5.
Always. Sorry. You and me, baby.
Colton.
Portland in 5. Took the words right out of my mouth.
I think Denver, especially without Jamal Murray, I don't think they can stop CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard.
Oh, I'm pissed.
Yeah, but Michael Porter Jr. stepped up a lot ever since Murray got hurt.
He has stepped up, but
yes.
Like I said, I'm not writing anything off Denver. My pick is nothing against Denver. Yeah. My pick is solely based on how they played last night, and I think in like a Russell Westbrook-ish fashion, Dame just like drags this team through this series and just refuses to lose.
I feel like shit because on previous episodes, I'm being a hypocrite now because I said you can never count out Dame, and here the fuck I am counting out Dame.
I think it's just an awful match. I think it's a lot of Dame and an awful matchup for Denver.
Yeah. I'm sticking with Portland in 5.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We have the LeBron James Lakers versus the Phoenix Suns.
Suns in 5.
I've got Phoenix at 6. Gooch.
I mean, I'm going Suns. I'm working
Oh,
on the
wait,
game.
wait.
I've got all
Wait.
my teams. I just know we were doing games. So
Have we heard about Chris Paul's shoulder yet?
He came back in the game, so apparently he's
Dude,
fine.
But were you watching? I
No,
was
the fuck I
watching.
wasn't.
He was walking around with like a dead arm. Like,
Yeah, you were in the group chat. You're like, oh, fight. There was a thrown basketball and a couple pushes.
Dude, I thought they were because I was playing my game, so I was like looking up and I see everyone like I thought there was a full on fight because I heard the announcers. I was like,
the funniest thing was Harold running in to like grab
oh
onto.
my god.
Okay, here we go.
Payne.
I got my head around it. It took me a second. I hate to do it. I know this is going to get brought up in a later episode, and I'm going to look stupid. Suns in 4.
I knew it. Oh, fuck, I love it. God, I love it.
I would love to see it.
Oh, shit. All
so
right.
We got 5 and 4?
5, 6,
no,
and
6,
4.
5, 4.
Okay.
These last two matchups are snoozers, in my opinion. But next one, Clippers versus Mavericks.
Okay.
The Mavs won 113 to 103, and I'm going to roll with that anyways. I got Dallas at 6.
So I know we all love to fuck with the Clippers and Pandemic P, but they are going to lose in 7 by 30 points in Game 7.
Oh, they love to choke Game 7.
Oh my god! Like I
So
think
Dallas in 7.
That series gonna be back and forth. Like I think Dallas won handily yesterday, and tomorrow, the Clippers are gonna win handily. It's gonna be back and forth like that.
Okay.
Right.
I've been on record saying that the Clippers can play as the best team in the league, and they can play as the worst team in the league. I think on paper they're better than Dallas.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Clippers in 6.
Oh, okay.
I can see it. I think both teams are really good and play really good and really bad basketball.
I understand. We've seen it literally all year long. Just the night and day versions of the Clippers and how bad they can play with that much talent on their roster. But looking at the matchup on paper, I cannot wrap my head around them losing a 7-game series to
Didn't
Mavericks.
Dallas beat them by like 50 like in the first week of the season this
was
year?
Was that against Dallas where they scored like 20
was.
points in the first half?
Yes, they lost by like 50.
Yeah. Like, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like we've seen this literally all year long from the Clippers, but then we've also seen them turn around and do the exact same thing on the opposite side to other teams.
Yeah, well, last matchup, Utah Jazz versus Memphis Grizzlies. I'll go ahead and write in Utah in 4 for all of us.
Utah in 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I figured much.
Memphis is an imposter.
I may hate the Warriors, but I would rather watch the Warriors fight the Jazz.
I think the Warriors could pull off a win or two, but I think Memphis also matches up. I don't think Memphis is that good. I think Memphis matches up awful against Utah.
It's awful, and they had a decent game, or heck, I say decent. It was a good game against the Warriors to make the play in, and everybody's sucking off John Morant now.
If Utah was smart, they would just leave Donovan Mitchell out for these 4 games. Let him rest up.
Yeah, I would do the same.
But okay,
I just don't see John Morant be the one carrying the team. Him and Jonas.
Speaking of Ja, now that we're done with all this playoff predictions, I am pissed at the media for even allowing this to become a topic. And of course, it gets brought up again once they beat the Warriors. But Ja has gone on record and said he believes he's a top 5 point guard, and every media source out there has hyped it up. And I think that is the biggest bullshit I have ever heard. And I don't even think he's close to top 5. He's definitely top 5 off the top of my head.
No, he's not top 5. Like,
oh no, not at all.
He's not top 5 in the play.
Like, I mean, I'm sitting here like right now, like off the top, literally off the top of my head, Kyrie, Steph, Dame, Jamal Murray, Donovan Mitchell, Russ,
There it is.
Chris
Yeah, I mean,
Paul,
like,
See, and whenever I looked up players, I totally forgot
Simmons.
about Donovan and Jamal because they're hurt.
yeah.
so the only reason I didn't like instantly go with Chris Paul is just sheer age.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
like, 'cause
I-
if you're
but we're not
putting,
talking like who do you want going forward. We're talking about like right now who's helping a team more.
right, I get it, and like, yeah, I mean, like, but yeah, from like a front office like program standpoint, I could see someone kind of leaning more into Jaw than Chris Paul just because you're gonna get more out of him. But
Mhm.
I mean, I said this before we got on the air. If we're going strictly off of like player efficiency stat, he's not even top 20.
No, he's not even top 50. Technically, John Morant is 71
Is that out of the
in
entire
player
league?
efficiency.
Yeah,
out of the
so
entire league,
out
71.
of point guards in the league, he's 22nd or 23rd, give or take.
You know
But-
who I'd lump him in with, and it might kind of be a slap in the face, but like Drew Holiday.
That's
He's
not a
like
slap in the face.
but Drew Holiday is like a second fiddle kind of player.
That's about what John
I
is
think-
currently.
Yeah,
I feel
I'd
like
say
Jonas is the anchor of the team right
Oh,
now.
and then like we told this one off. I can't believe I missed this one. I mean, you're gonna sit here and tell me that John Morant's better than Trae Young?
Oh, I didn't even think about him.
Yeah, see that's just, the 6 players that I thought of immediately that are better than Ja is Steph, Dame, Russ, Ben Simmons, Luca, and Trae Young.
James Harden could play point guard, and he's better. He technically is a better point guard.
Yes, technically, but as of this season, he's a shooting guard.
Yeah, I mean,
But he's
I
a
could
pro.
honestly
Going off straight
probably
point guards.
name 10 point guards I'd rather have.
Easy.
And then
yeah.
some specific news outlet. I don't know which one it was. It might have been some. What's the Shannon Sharp might have said it. He's like a top 5 traditional point guard. There's still like Curry. So the only people you take out of it is like Russ and Ben Simmons because they don't have like a mid range, a good reliable mid range. But we still waste way more than 5.
Yeah, see, because
John Wall. A healthy John Wall's better than Ja.
That's true. See, because Ja's
I
averages
mean-
for this season is 19 points, 4 rebounds, 7.4 assists, and he's shooting a 30.3 clip from 3.
The John Wall comparison. Did I miss when we woke up in 2015,
Okay.
16?
I don't know. I don't mean to like forget the John Wall. I don't mean to like say it's to disrespect John Morant, but like I just think, and I think you should believe you're one of the best players. That's how you get better. You believe in
Yeah.
yourself. But I just hate the media, like running with
God,
it.
the media takes any little thing and just takes off with it.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Wiz said I don't mean to shit on John Morant. Well, let's transition this into a player that Wiz does mean to shit on.
Ooh.
And what the media loves to
Yes.
suck on.
Oh my God. It makes 0 sense to me whatsoever. I'll try and make my rant short, but it won't be.
Ah, bullshit, because we all have a rant over this.
LeBron James and it was before his play-in game against the Warriors. The NBA knew about it. They didn't mention it. It didn't come out publicly until after. He broke protocols to go to a something opening for a wine company or something like that.
It was Buddy's company or something.
But Buddy's company, something like that. But they said he will not be suspended or forced to stay out any games for quarantine for breaking health and safety protocols. So I've got a few issues with this for once. I don't even know if I said that right. I've got a few issues with this. And he hasn't even came out and said whether or not he's vaccinated. Like 90% of the Lakers are vaccinated, but he's the one who won't admit if he's not, is or not. So that's what made me think he isn't. 2,
He's for sure not, because A, LeBron's that type of personality, and B, it's like a social like badge of honor to say you're vaccinated. And let me tell you, if he was vaccinated, if LeBron James was vaccinated, you'd
He'd be the
fucking
number one
know about
advocate.
it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, he'd be the biggest advocate of it.
So
He'd
I
be
think
shaming
he's
other
not
players for
vaccinated.
not being vaccinated.
but
Yeah.
on top of that, we've seen multiple players, whether it be for contact tracing or for breaking health and safety protocols this year have to sit out a week. Just get some negative tests because you broke protocol. You can come back, but they're not making LeBron do it. And one perfect example was the health and safety protocols have barely changed from last year's bubble to this year. So protocol, so you can't get mad that it's a last year comparison. But Daniel House had to miss playoff games against the Lakers. And he was a good role player on that team. I think he actually was starting last year. He missed like 3 or 4 games before we lost. And it was because he snuck in a COVID-19 tester into his hotel room. So not only is we know she's negative because she's getting tested as well because she's living inside of the bubble being a tester herself. He still had to get he wasn't suspended. It's a quarantine period.
Mm-hmm. No, he did test positive for being horny, apparently.
Yes. But like it's the principle. There's protocols for a reason. We knew she was negative, but we still had to make him you don't make a rule to bend the rule.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my
that's all LeBron does. I mean,
yeah.
Going back to the play-in thing, he was a big advocate of the play-in whenever last season it was discussed and implemented, and then all of a sudden when he's playing in it, it's a big deal. It's stupid.
Someone should get fired.
Yeah, it's just it's ridiculous.
And something that I hate. I don't wish anybody to get fired, except for LeBron to sit there on his high horse and say someone needs to get fired. His billionaire ass, like that pisses me off so much.
And you would think that somebody that talks so much and tries to be the focal point of the league would at least be tough.
Yeah,
he's become so soft. Was it against the Warriors? The play against the Warriors where he got poked in the eye.
Oh my!
And just wallered around on the fucking court, crying for saying he saw after the game. I saw 3 baskets. I didn't know what to do, so I chose the middle one and shot on the game-winning shot. That's horse shit.
What was hilarious about that is, funny enough, it was Draymond Green a couple years back in the playoffs. Draymond Green did the same thing to Harden, but in one hit, gave Harden bleeds in both eyes and actually put a gash in one of his eyelids. Yeah. Harden, after the game, Harden said his vision was a little blurry, but hopefully it'll get better. He was on the court for a minute, got back up.
Yeah, he didn't wall around the fucking on the floor.
He laid there for a minute. He had bleeds in his eye, which is much worse than what LeBron had.
Literally busted blood vessels in his eyes, and it's just.
And he didn't complain about it anymore after that one game. But LeBron was.
I mean, you see this constantly with LeBron. Like he's always trying to like set up his own like narrative and stuff. Like because before that, like it's like all right, hitting the game winner was cool. Like that was cool enough. Like you don't need to make it cooler. Mm-hmm. Like
every time he missed a shot, he's limping around. Like why he missed it.
You're in the play-in game. Like this is already if you take this team to the finals and win, which people are talking about. I don't think they will, but people are talking about it. This is already going to be your hardest road to the finals, your hardest championship you've had to win yet. It's already impressive. But before they even played a game, oh yeah, I think we're definitely playing against the MVP of the league. Like he started pushing the Steph MVP hype train out of nowhere, and like it.
He wants his story to be beautiful.
I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised.
I made a joke on Twitter earlier saying after Game 7 of the NBA Finals, LeBron is going to announce that his last test came back positive. He's like, you know what? I was feeling a little winded out there. I might have been playing with COVID for all I know.
Yeah.
Just to be like, oh, he had his flu game.
But let's go back around to the eye thing real quick. I know it's different sports, but Watson got nailed in the eye where he said he felt like his eye was hanging out of his socket. He covers it up, men chasing him all around him, and still throws a dime touchdown. He didn't sit there walling on the ground after he got kicked. It's all about you got to show your toughness. LeBron's gotten so soft. It's ridiculous.
A sport like football, like mid-play, you can't stop to wallow in pain.
No, in NBA, it's okay because it's a timeout. Let me get some sympathy real quick. Let me create my narrative.
And Watson, his eye was like swollen, black for weeks.
It was fucked. Yes.
But another thing, I think Gooch sent this yesterday. I don't
Oh,
know. I don't know his
Kevin
name,
Pillar.
but oh my,
Kevin
is
Pillar
it going to focus? This dude is
took
completely
94 miles an hour to the nose. I want to say he had to have like reconstructive nasal surgery.
Yes, there's a bunch of torn ligaments in his face.
Mm-hmm.
okay. I guess
Yeah, there
if
it
you are
goes.
watching, you can kind of see how messed up his
Yeah.
face looks. And oh my,
I
he
mean,
was
his
just
face looked like fireworks on the 4th of July. It was awful.
oh my god, his face was just dripping blood. He didn't even like lay there in pain. He like was on his knees, like just. All right.
But yeah, so that's a good segue into the MLB though.
Yeah.
So speaking of hit by pitches and all that stuff, we're gonna go. This is gonna be a pretty like inside baseball episode of Below 500 this week. So in this week in baseball, there was like some pretty big like blockbuster news. The Chicago White Sox, I can't even remember, was it against the Phillies or the Braves?
No,
Twins.
The Twins. I knew it was somebody red. Yeah, so the Chicago White Sox were absolutely beating the brakes off of the Minnesota Twins. And I want to say the score was 15-4. There's a position player, I believe like a first baseman, pitching for the Twins because it's like 7th or 8th inning. They're getting just cooked. And Yermin Mercedes, one of like the best young prospects in the league right now, gets to a 3-0 count on a first baseman.
I believe it was 0. I think it was first pitch.
Was it first pitch? I thought it was 3-0.
It was full count. Yeah, it was 3-0.
It was 3-0. Yeah.
It was 3-0.
3-0 count. Dude throws like a 47 mile an hour, literally lobs this ball. And like Mercedes takes a slow pitch softball hack and just roofs this ball onto like the 3rd deck. And obviously baseball purists are pissed. Even this part, I mean, the announcers are just roasting Mercedes while it's happening. There's no need for that.
What is he supposed to do? Just let it go by?
Right. Well, okay, so there's one thing I'll say. If it was any other pitcher, if it was like an actual pitcher, I would say don't get in a 3-0 count. It's a first baseman. At the very least, take the 3-0 pitch and then park the 3-1 pitch over the wall. Like, that's like a courtesy he could have done. I don't think it's that big of a deal to get that worked up about.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is a thing. It kind of just is that good old boy baseball rule.
So, what are those slow pitches called? A euphes?
Oh, an ephus.
Ephus.
Yeah.
I only know that because Grinky
I think that's giving that pitcher a lot of credit.
So
saying that was planned.
My opinion on this is slightly different from Gooch's because I looked it up. It was 3-0, so I get it.
Yeah.
But
like I said, take a pitch. You're going to get the same pitch on 3-1. Hit that one. So I don't have a problem with it.
My question is, why suspend the pitcher and the manager for it?
No. So what happened?
Well, so we'll get to that.
Yeah, I'll get to that because my thing's going to go to that. So my thing is, I think if he would have hit the home run on 3-1, people would have said some shit too. I think
they still would have said shit because it was 15-4, and they don't want him to take that swing up 11 in like the 8th inning.
So
that's the part I don't give a fuck about. You're up there to hit the ball, hit the fucking baseball. If it goes over the wall, so be it.
Mm-hmm.
So anything he takes other than that home run or a hit and play is going to negatively affect his stats. So swing away. I don't give a shit.
I don't care about the home run. Like I said, other than just wait till it's not on a 3-0 count on a position player. Because guess what? In 2 years or 3 years or whenever he's up for contract negotiations, not a single person in those negotiations is going to know, looking at the stat sheet, that home run was on a 3-0 count off of a position player.
No.
All it's going to look like is another home run, and that's just dollars in his pocket. So yeah,
It's not
fucking
Mercedes'
baseball.
fault.
Right.
Yeah, it's not Mercedes' fault that the Twins were asked that game.
And
Yeah.
it goes in like I said, if it was an actual pitcher, don't get in a 3-1 hole. Trevor Bauer even came out and said later on, like, if he gets in a 3-0 count, that's his fault. And if he gets hit because of it, that's his fault.
He'll be better next time.
100% true. 3-0 counts are an absolute death sentence for pitchers. Opposing on base percentage for 3-0 counts is like over 600. It's something astronomical. So yeah, just don't get in a 3-0 count. And it goes the same for teams. If you don't want to have to put a position player on the mound, don't give up 15 fucking runs.
So I saw it, and I don't love it, but I saw a good solution to it because you have teams bitching, players bitching about it happening, but then you have the actual player, Mercedes, who has to decide if he's going to improve his stats or hurt his stats.
Right.
So if it's, I believe I saw like seventh inning, after seventh inning, if you want to concede the game and don't want to have shit like this happen, concede the game.
No, fuck that. That's the fucking worst idea I've ever heard.
That
is the glory of
the game's
baseball.
over. We're not
no fucking mercy rule.
We're not going to we're not going to trot out a position player to get absolutely smoked and then complain about it. That's my thing. Like,
I mean, but that's the thing though. That's a team decision. If they thought, because I mean, if let's say it's the 7th inning, 8th inning, whatever, you're still guaranteed 2 at bats probably. There's no time limit. You can score 27 runs in the next inning. You chose to put that position player up there. All they were doing, they did that to save arms.
Yes,
because it's early in the season.
So that's my gripe.
There's a pitcher in that bullpen that could have came out and pitched, and they chose to put that guy on the mound.
So that's my gripe, because putting in the position player is conceding the game. That's saying we don't believe we're gonna. Yeah. So don't get mad on something you gave up.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Because I've seen the Astros come back 11 runs in the 7th inning before. It's possible. So by putting him in, you conceded. You said we're not going to stop any more runs.
And I would find it more offensive from an opposing team standpoint if I see him take some soft ass swing to try to keep the ball in the yard. Like, listen, I understand we're getting our absolute asses whipped here, but we're still Major League Baseball players making millions of dollars. I can fucking handle one loss. Like, don't take it easy on me.
It's 100. What game?
Play me like I'm 162. Yeah, I'm a grown man. Like, if you're gonna beat me as good as you can. Like,
beat me and mean it, not just give some pity shit.
Don't feel sorry for me after you put 15 runs on the board.
Yeah,
it's something
they didn't feel sorry for him while they were putting those 15 runs up in the first 7 innings.
No, I guarantee you the White Sox having the time of their fucking life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But then
what I don't understand, there were some people that a few times this season there's been innings where multiple runs are scored. Because I know you said anyways, they said something about putting a cap on it. Possibly there's rumors around the league trying to put a cap on it, talking about in the future. That's stupid.
If you
cap
do that,
on how many runs you can do in during an inning, because there's no time limit.
Like I said,
any can last an hour.
That is the beauty of baseball.
Exactly.
If you're gonna do that, you might as well do what Wiz said and make a mercy rule after 7 innings. Because
that's basically what they're trying to do. It's a soft mercy rule.
It's 15-4, 16-4, whatever after Mercedes home run. Guess what? The Twins can still win. Mathematically, they could score 16 runs in the very next inning and be up. Like,
literally anything can happen. There's no time limit.
Yeah,
with there not being a time limit, literally anything can happen. It's just insane. That's why I don't understand. I heard the rumors. It was like a couple of weeks ago, but whenever Wiz brought up the mercy rule, it made me think about it. That's stupid to put a limit on that.
Yeah, the only reason I even brought up the mercy rule is because I don't agree with it, but I think putting in a position player, whatever, is conceding. So
yeah. So
basically,
fast forward the tape one day. Get the Sox play the Twins again, and guess what? The Twins are not happy with your mean Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and that's standard baseball. I mean, you do something like that, there's going to be consequences. Baseball polices itself. It's like one step below hockey in that kind of the players take up for the players kind of code. So in the next game, Tyler Duffy, the pitcher for the Twins, goes to intentionally hit Yermin Mercedes with a pitch and ends up throwing it behind him.
Behind his head.
What? Okay, so that was going to be my one question in this. I didn't see it. I was going to say, as long as it's between like the thighs and the shoulders, green light. You're all, excuse me, you're all good. I was going to ask, if it's above the shoulders, we've got a problem.
See, yeah. I didn't see it, but I read on Twitter, so don't quote me. I could be wrong, but I believe it was behind the head. And
I have to look this up so we can get a better.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all go on.
So behind the head is very shitty.
So I think that's an issue in baseball for one, intentional hitting. I think it's kind of like it's different than hockey. How like you square up for your player, but your teammate, but this, you got a defenseless batter in the batter box and you're throwing whatever at him. And the worst part about it is that his coach, Mercedes' coach, came out and said, I didn't have a problem with it. This old, I think he's 90 something for all I know.
Okay. What we're not going to do is disrespect Tony La Russa.
So no, right? I'm not disrespecting him. I'm just saying I think he was disrespecting his player. I think you stand up for your player.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm trying to find out right now where the pitch was. Like I said, if it was at his head, then yeah, I've got a problem with it, and I've got a problem with La Russa for supporting it.
I have money that if he would have got hit in the head, the dugouts would have cleared from Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, there's a pretty good chance. I'm looking hard for this.
Okay, so there's two pitchers who did it. I've seen one where he hit him in the leg. I'm trying to see the other one.
Was he intentionally hit that game already or no?
Yeah, so there were two pitchers did it in one game, I believe, to him, because I have a little picture here. You see,
and see, they're mad that he hit that swing. What else was he supposed to fucking do?
Yeah,
it's their own fault that they got themselves in that fucking pickle, and they want to get pissy about it. It's ridiculous.
Okay, so maybe whoever I saw on Twitter is full of shit. This actually is only one player. It's just two pictures of him. He threw and hit him like low in the back of the leg, I think. Kind of like the leg butt area. So it isn't.
Yeah, but Tyler Duffy didn't hit him.
No, he did.
No, he threw behind.
He threw behind him.
It looks like it hits.
There. I got
Tyler
the video.
Duffy you're watching though. Duffy missed.
I've got the video right here.
Oh, there is
just a second.
People. I'm dumb.
Yeah, give me just a second. I've got the video. I'm waiting on it to come around. Come on.
I'm assuming they suspended the manager also, because wouldn't the manager have a say in that?
Yeah, he hits it, or whether he throws behind him or hits him, it's knee level. I just saw it.
Okay, it is. So I mean, that's better.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with it. I don't necessarily know that he should have been suspended, if we're being 100% honest.
So, see, I feel like it's so defenseless. I know it's been a thing, potential hit by pitch, but I feel like it's such a defenseless thing. Like,
I'm okay, but the thing is like, it's not like out of left field. Like, it's coming. When you do something like what Mercedes did, I'm not saying he shouldn't have done it. You just know there's going to be consequences.
Yeah.
And that's part of the game of baseball at that level. Players take up for players. And that's the thing. Along with like that's how you keep somebody from Mercedes from doing something like that potentially in the future. Is because like you just accept, like, if I take this swing in this situation, I'm probably eating one in the next game. And if you still, like, if you decide you're okay with those consequences and you choose to do that, that's your choice. You made that choice, you move on. And that's why I say, like, and it's just known, it's just accepted in baseball. Like, you've got like from like above the knees to below the shoulders. Like, now if you start going down for like ankles and stuff, or like up into like the head area, that's a no-no. Like, anything between the knees and the shoulders is pretty harmless. You'll walk it off. You'll be fine.
So
Bruise.
so even cheating aside, whenever that one Dodgers pitcher threw behind Correa's head last year, you thought that was like he threw it like it was like right here behind his head.
Yeah, anything at the head, anything intentionally at the head level, pretty much
Suspended.
across the board in baseball is going to be frowned upon and not taken lightly.
Glad we can agree on that.
Yeah, but
everyone on Twitter was hoping for Correa to take one to the dome.
Yeah, no, I don't, because I mean, you see with Kevin Pillar, like that baseball, especially with and we'll get into this here in a second too, with the pitchers that are in the game now, a ball above the shoulders is a bullet, like a literal bullet headshot.
Yeah. Like that one
that at that point, that helmet is moral support. Like that's not doing anything.
That one guy that got hit here with that ball, he's lucky to be alive because that hits him in the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Your bone can literally break up and hit in your brain.
Yeah.
So
so that's why I say like, and pretty much all like baseball people are gonna kind of probably be on the same side as me as this. In that situation, everybody in like the ballpark knows that pitch is coming.
Yeah.
You just have to keep it between the knees and the shoulders. Like that it's just, that's the rule. Like that's how it goes. You take one in the ribs, it hurts like a bitch, and you move on.
I shouldn't have trusted someone on Twitter because my biggest thing was I thought it was behind the head. So
moving on, keeping this rant on the MLB going, I'm gonna kind of take over this for a minute. I'll let y'all have y'all's thing, y'all's time to chime in here in a second. But I got an alert on my ESPN app a couple days ago, 4 days ago to be exact, for an article by ESPN writer Tim Kurkjian, title, and I saw the headline and I had to read it because first of all, you want to talk about like inflammatory journalism. The headline of the article is how the K became the most destructive letter in baseball. And this writer goes on to essentially talk about how strikeouts are ruining the game of baseball. And I knew where this was going before I even read the article, so I went into it pissed off. And everything I read in the article strictly confirmed my suspicions. I just can't. So he doesn't blame the hitters. He does to an extent, as much as he blames the pitchers. This man got paid to write an article to ESPN bitching about pitchers striking out too many batters and saying essentially that it's ruining the game of baseball, which is a flat out old white guy, terrible fucking take. And it absolutely drives me insane as a baseball person, someone who's devoted almost my entire life to the game of baseball. I mean, I've been a player, I've been a coach, I've been an instructor, I've been everything. Like I've done all the things in baseball for basically my whole life. It's wrong. He's wrong. Pitching now, and his article, he goes on to say like that he describes Jacob deGrom, Garrett Cole, and Shane Bieber as masters of pitching. Rightfully so. Pitching now is better than it's ever been in the history of the game. And then goes on to say how these masters are ruining the game with their pitching. All three of them average fastballs in the mid to upper 90s. And it just boggles my mind, the things that he's able to say. And he quotes guys like Reggie Jackson saying it's embarrassing, or Nolan Ryan saying that it's worrisome for the game, and on and on and on.
Real quick, just because I was going to hit on that later because I read the article.
Mm-hmm.
Though those are 100% taken out of context quotes, because he's got it's embarrassing quoted and it's worrisome quoted.
Yeah, like I didn't dig into like the sources, but so my take is like, and all of my like baseball opinions come from like a player perspective, because I mean that's what I was for like almost 19 years. as a pitcher, I mean, like, so there's two, and then he goes on, and this is how I know that this is just coming like as like the grumpy old white man opinion, is because in this article about how strikeouts are running baseball, he throws the rising rates of home runs under the bus too, saying that hitters these days only care about home runs and it's ruining the game. Nobody wants to just hit the ball anymore. Well, one, from a purely player level, if you're a pitcher, there's two things in baseball that are the most exciting play in baseball from opposing sides. If you're a pitcher and you're on the mound, nothing excites you more than a strikeout. You can say seeing your defense make a play behind you. Yeah, that's all bullshit. Striking out a hitter, especially a hitter of that caliber at that level, gets you fired the fuck up. And as a hitter, everyone's going to agree with this. There's nothing better than a home run. It's one of the only plays in sports that there's zero defense for. You can't guard it. You can't play against it. You can't do anything about it. And this also really rubbed me the wrong way because like 2 or 3 years ago, whenever the hitting started to kind of like revolutionize, like people started getting into like the science behind hitting and launch angles and exit velocities and really kind of buy into like the science of hitting. The old white men of baseball hated it, could not stand it. People were changing their swings and they were realizing that because in baseball, everyone says, if you bat 300, you're like an all-time great. If you bat career 300, well, that's a 30% success rate. A 250 is like league average-ish. Well, that's only 5 percentage points below 300. So if you can optimize home runs and that 5% is strikeouts, like you're still going to be okay. You're putting points on the board. They've essentially found through science and statistics and all that smart guy stuff that home runs are as valuable, if not more, than strikeouts are harmful. And they leaned into that. And you see it. And he's blaming it on like Tim Kirkian quotes historically high strikeout records and how the the MLB total strikeout record has been broken like every season for the past 7 years or something crazy. And so if you were to just believe at face value what he's saying, you would just think that all these games are ending in like 1 hitters, 2 hitters, 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, just absolute pitcher's duels in every game. Well, the game we just talked about, we had a team up 15-4. In multiple games this week, we had one team score 20 and another team score 16. Offense is not being hurt. It's just simply these old white guys who are in like positions of power in these places like ESPN, Fox Sports, all the like sports media companies that really kind of have their hands on baseball. The game's not being played the way that they grew up with it and the way they're familiar with it. They don't recognize the game they're watching anymore, and they cannot stand it. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's evolution. Pitchers are better now than they've ever been, and anybody will tell you that. Back in the 80s, people weren't throwing 94-mile-an-hour sliders. It wasn't a thing. Back in the 70s and 80s, when these people were like really getting into baseball, you didn't have two-seamers breaking from the plate into the other batter's box. But there's nothing you can do about that. Players are going to get better. Take any team out of the NBA today and just compare them from an athletic standpoint to a team in the 70s. Human beings get better over time. And these people are trying to fight simply basic human evolution. Pitchers get better, hitters get better. Right now, we're in a pitching phase. 3 years ago, they were bitching about all the home runs being hit and saying that that was ruining baseball. Well, now the pitchers bought into their science and have caught up. And guess what? The hitters are going to catch up too. Because when there's millions of dollars on the line, that's your only choice. Hit better or lose your job. And they're not going to lose their jobs. They're going to find a way to hit better. I've pretty much covered all my talking points on this, but like, it's just mind blowing to me. Like, and I know I'm so upset about it because I know where this road leads. People that are on this side of the argument are going to start pushing for changes to the game because they don't like what they're seeing, and they're going to start spinning this narrative that it's dangerous to the game, and it's not. If you were seeing every game with a hockey score of 2-1, 1-0, freaking games going into extra innings because no one's scored yet, that would be a problem. But you're not seeing that. Runs are still being scored at alarming levels. I mean, I just saw like a 10-9 final score the other day. It's a minor league game, but here, the Oklahoma City Dodgers just today lost the game 10-11. Offense is not being hurt by this.
No.
If you were to ask me, I would say the opposite and say baseball's in as good or better shape than it's ever been. You have high offense, as high or higher offensive rates than you've had in years and years and years and years, and the best pitching you've had in years and years and years and years. What more can you ask for than having absolutely prime, never before seen in history athletes on both sides of the ball?
Okay, you done?
Yeah, I'm cooling off. I just had to get that out there.
I've got a couple points to hit, and one thing is, so pretty much to summarize this article, this guy is griping about there not being as many balls in play. Pretty much. Because if you're striking out or not hitting a home run, that means the ball's not in play.
Right.
So my biggest problem is he gave zero ideas for solution, for changes, or anything. This entire long ass, unnecessarily long article. So I'm gonna say, if I had one, just from a pitcher standpoint, one thing that I don't even know if it'll fix his problem, and I don't know if you'll be an advocate for this, Gooch, just because you're more traditional than me, I'd say. But they need a robotic batter's box. Pitches should be 100% right 100% of the time.
Yeah, that is like the one thing. I can get behind that. Like, a bunch of people would be against me. That's like the one thing. I mean, a strike is a strike and a ball is a ball.
Yeah.
And if you're going to guarantee that, I mean, you're not going to have guys. I mean, how many times have you seen Bryce Harper get ejected because he had a bad at bat with like balls and strikes? If you're going to tell me that you're going to prevent that, and I'm like, because I mean, like any time that happens, like that changes the game. Because now, like, let's say that's a tie ball game and I don't get Bryce Harper up to bat in the ninth.
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah, like, no, I can get behind the robotic batter's box, because you're not changing the rules of the game. All you're doing is making the rules that are currently in place more accurate.
Yeah. So I think that extends at bats and puts more balls in play, because I don't even have the option to pay to the TV provider that allows me to watch the Astros here. So I never get to watch baseball until playoffs. And so I'm always watching on ESPN, and it's got a little batter box, and I'll see a pitch come in way outside that's a strike, or a pitch in the middle that's called a ball, and things like that. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't want to get too much into it because I'm just explaining how this guy showed no solution whatsoever to his idiotic take. And something just else to say is like,
he's just mad that players are better now. He's seeing things he's not used to seeing.
He brought up the shift too, and I want to tell like kind of a crazy stat here, but if y'all had to guess who has the most hard hit balls this season as a batter, who would it be? Whether it's in play, home run, or an out.
I have no clue. I mean, I would lean towards like one of the big name guys, like
probably not.
Trout,
it's a trap
Judge.
question.
No, and it's Kyle Tucker, freaking batting seventh on the Astros, but the shift. But think, he's got by far the most hard hit balls, and if they're not shifting, those are all going in play. Those are all doubles, triples.
Yeah. So this is another big like baseball soapbox I have. People hate the shift. They say it's killing baseball. It's not.
But imagine Kyle Tucker being He would literally be the best player in baseball right now if the shift wasn't a thing.
Okay, well,
Based off his
I
hard
get
hit
it.
balls.
Think of it this way.
No,
Imagine telling an NFL offense that they can have to stick to normal traditional offense rules, and they can only put 6 guys down on the line for a field goal.
Yeah. Or you can't do different personnel like 2 tight ends. You have to keep 1 tight end.
Yeah. Like, it's ridiculous. It's baseball.
So,
you're on a field.
What's the shift? What's the shift here?
So if you have a hitter like Kyle Tucker, I'm assuming a heavy pull hitter. So whether he's left-handed or right-handed, he pulls the ball almost every time. So you take your infield and you shift your third baseman basically onto the foul line.
I got you.
You move your second baseman either behind second base, or sometimes in extreme shifts, you'll move him all the way into like a shortstop position, and the shortstop will play like shallow outfield.
Yes,
and you just force
them,
and because
they play to that whoever's batting, they play to the string.
And you had
so Kyle Tucker hits 110 miles per hour right into someone's glove.
Right. You had like these guys, mainly lefties. You get like these big power hitting lefties who had just made literally careers, like made their way to the MLB strictly off of pulling home runs to right field. Well, then people started game planning for it. And I mean, it's like, it'd be like telling an NFL defense, you can't blitz 7 guys. Like, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
I just don't like, regardless of sport, but definitely baseball, I don't like limiting what you're actually allowed to do on the field. If you want to do like robotic strike zones or stuff like that, that's fine. But don't tie one hand behind my back while I'm actually on the field.
Mm-hmm. A perfect comparison would tell someone you have to prepare the exact same way for the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. They have to prepare for the Titans and Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
No.
But that's enough MLB. It's probably more than enough MLB.
Yeah. So
first ever segment. We asked y'all for listener questions, and y'all responded. So we're gonna go ahead and go through a couple of these listener questions.
Yeah, a couple of the first ones. One's a question, one's a statement. I'll go ahead and put the statement out first. Rowdy, he said, "Why is Gooch so mad the Astros are just going to win it again?"
Well, that's not true. The Astros are, I don't even think they're in the top 5 record-wise. Wiz, go ahead and give me y'all's current streak.
3 loss. The way got swept by the Rangers. But we can't always sweep the Rangers.
Before the 3-loss streak, we were a half game behind the lead record. So we're up there. We're the best hitting team in the league right now. And we have injured pitchers, like 2 or 3.
I just don't see it.
Better days
ahead. It's May. It doesn't mean
anything.
I don't care about right now.
Rowdy,
got months left.
See me in August, Rowdy. And if y'all are still at the top of the league in August, then I'll let you run your mouth. But right now, I don't care.
All right, now this is a pretty good question he has for us. It's, does Derrick Rose deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, so this one I had to go to my stats. Currently trying to dig through some stuff.
I wish I would have went to it, but he was the youngest MVP and such a bright future until them glass knees acted up.
So the biggest thing is NBA lets everyone into the Hall of Fame. There was people who had a problem with Tracy McGrady being in the Hall of Fame. So I'm saying, just by NBA standards, it's a no-brainer. I think he'll make it. Youngest MVP is going to have a pretty long career. He's kind of revived it and gotten better, and he's contributing on a playoff team. So
with his buddy Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah, I think he'll deserve it by the end of his career.
I would say yes. NBA standards, yeah, he'll make it.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like, it's just, I mean, I'm like looking at the stats, and I mean, let's see. He's a career 45% field goal shooter, but I mean, he hasn't averaged 20 points a game since 2012.
He doesn't need to now. He has people around him. He just
I
needs to
understand that,
facilitate. Yeah,
but we're talking about a Hall of Fame player,
that's
and
true.
like you're telling me a Hall of Fame player can't give me 20 points a game? And like, let's see, he's averaged. What and like I said, I'm kind of dumb when it comes to basketball. Like in this kind of stuff, maybe this is good. I feel like it should be higher for a point guard since let's see, since 2011, since the 2011-2012 season, he's averaged over 4 assists per game once.
Yeah,
And that was in 2020.
I get what you're saying.
Like I said, I mean, I'm not hating on Derrick Rose. Like I don't have any hate for him. I think more than anything, like he's a fan favorite. People love Derrick Rose, me included. That's why this question is coming up. I think he's more of like a what could have been story than a Hall of Fame story.
Yeah.
Like it's tragic. I mean, like
Yeah,
it sucks. I mean,
it sucks.
I just feel like he's kind of like a star that burned out more than anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the next question, Colton asked us if we see any massive upsets coming in the NBA playoffs.
I don't know if you'd count Miami being upset towards Milwaukee, but that's my upset.
I've got both threes losing to the six because I also have Portland beating Denver and Miami beating Milwaukee.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Portland beat Denver, but I just for pick's sake, I have Denver.
Yeah, I don't really have nothing like other than the sixes over the threes. I don't have nothing crazy. And then like in the second round,
we'll see.
I mean,
get there.
I think, I mean, like something like the craziest thing you would have would be like a 6 over a 2, but I don't think either of the sixes beat either of the twos. And then, I mean, maybe a 4 over a 1, but that's not.
Now, if we were talking
wild.
about the Warriors in the playoffs over the Grizzlies, I would be watching Warriors over the Jazz.
Yeah,
but
that's
I
think six.
Coulda, woulda.
I think 6 over 3, and maybe if you want to get really wild, maybe you get a 4 over a 1. But
yeah, I don't think we'll see anything at least this first.
I mean, I hope the Lakers don't beat the Suns.
If the Lakers beat the Suns, I'm not watching the playoffs. NBA segment is
all right.
cut.
And then for our last and my most anticipated listener question, I didn't even put this one in the notes, but Wiz, you should know what's coming.
Oh man, is it
one of our loyal listeners, Mikhail, wants Wiz to list off the dome his top 5 defensive ends.
Okay. Oh God.
Okay, so let me clarify this. I already apologized for the Cowboys hype.
He's like, why are you doing this to me? I apologize.
Yeah. Oh no, he hasn't seen it yet, but I explained the overhype and the hope behind it. I'm not saying we're
I think a lot of this is stemming from not the Cowboys hype, but your statement that DeMarcus Lawrence is one of the top defensive linemen in the NFL.
But there's 32 teams with multiple defensive linemen on them. So if you're a top 15 defensive lineman, you're a top defensive lineman. And I'm not going to name 5. There's more. I'd say he's like a borderline, not even. I'd say he's like, I'd probably throw him around 11 if I'd guess. Just like I don't think he'd even be 10. But when I say top, I'm saying he's constantly on the field.
A starter.
No,
that means he's one of the top 30.
I don't think he would make any team worse. If you like,
well, we're really moving the goalposts here.
like I said, overhyped. I was hyped. He's not top 5. He's borderline top 10. He's for sure top 15. But I saw what your friend said. He told me.
Yeah.
I watch every Cowboys game every year. He constantly draws double teams. He makes more of an impact than his stats. He's the reason why guys like he's on the I can't remember his name. He's on the Dolphins now, I think, or he came from the Dolphins. But 2 years ago, we had a guy come in on a 1-year deal and lead the team in sacks. And last year, we had Alden Smith come in and nearly led the team in sacks, and he missed like 5 games or something. like that. But the reason those guys get to come in for 1 year and put up stats and leave and get a decent contract because got DeMarcus Lawrence on the other end drawing so much attention. So his impact is more than his stats.
I don't hear you listing your top 5.
I mean, Aaron Donald, TJ Watt,
are these in order?
No, but just top 5. Aaron, I'd say. I mean, last year TJ Watt was better overall. Aaron Donald was better.
Yeah, we get you.
Yeah,
we get you.
I didn't mean, oh my God, we have the best guy in the league. I meant we have a respectable top 15 guy.
All right, so we'll go ahead.
I will clarify all Cowboys takes from now on. I'm sorry.
That wraps up our listener questions for the week. Continue to send those in to us if you have anything for us, and we'll continue to give you guys shout outs when we read them. We're going to move on. We're going to hit a quick highs and lows segment before we get out of here. I'll go last.
Want to start with lows?
Yeah, we'll start with lows, and I'll go last, and then lead us straight into highs.
So I've got 2 quick lows. I already mentioned one of the Astros just lost 3 straight to the Texas Rangers. I'm sure Hunter's pretty low about that too.
I'm still wearing the Astros jersey though.
Another quick low is my planned predictions were awful. Last episode I said Warriors over Lakers, and mostly as a joke I said Spurs over Lakers, so I couldn't have been more wrong for my Western Conference predictions. And in the East I said Boston would lose to
Charlotte.
Washington.
Oh, is it Washington?
Yeah. And then I said Boston would then lose to Charlotte, who also lost. So
yeah.
The
bad part is I think I had almost all the same picks.
Yeah, I got 0 games right.
Yeah.
And one of the teams didn't even make it that I predicted. Like the Warriors missed. So
yeah.
Yeah, all mine were off. Mine sucked.
Hunters will lose trains.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go ahead and just do a little bit of housekeeping. My low is the fact that I'll be having to miss next week's episode, but tie that quickly into my high. I will be missing that episode because I will be in Hawaii for 7 days on my COVID honeymoon.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'll send y'all pics to make y'all jealous.
So one quick high, I'll let Hunter, because he's got the most important high here. I'll let him finish off.
Thank you very much.
Can't wait for this.
I tried Jameson for the first time, and it's now my new favorite.
Oh, I thought this was Hunter. I didn't mean to drum roll that.
Oh, no. I'm getting my high out of the way first.
Okay, go ahead.
I am now in love with Jameson. It is my favorite liquor. I tried it for the first time like 2 days ago, and the bottle's half gone. I'm about to go finish it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome for that recommendation.
Oh, my God. It is. What was the thing you showed me, Hunter?
The green tea shot.
Green tea shot. What is it?
It is Jameson, peach schnapps, and sweet and sour mix. Put it in a shaker with ice. Shake it. It is like a refreshing green tea.
Oh, my God.
Can't even taste alcohol at all. It's so good.
A couple of those will put you to sleep.
And we will end the episode on some good news. Hunter, take it away.
All right, your boy escaping the Wi-Fi poverty. You know, I have been holding back this thing. Not really. Kind of. Okay, yes, I have been holding it back. But that's not the point.
It was a rough 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I tried everything. I went and tried to buy an expensive-ass router. Spent several $100s in a day to try to fix this shit.
Did you get refunds?
Couldn't work. It was just it was the equivalent of going 35 down a 75-mile-an-hour highway. It was god-awful. But shit has turned around. On June 2nd, I'm getting an upgrade on the Wi-Fi, going from a great 7 megabits per second to 200 megabits per second.
Can't wait.
And I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I want to be streaming everything all at one time. I am so stoked. I have it circled on my calendar. June 2nd. It's a Thursday. I'm looking forward to it.
Who all lives in your house, Hunter?
It's just me and my mom.
Okay. Because I was going to say, if y'all had multiple people there, I cannot imagine sharing 7 megabits per second.
So 2 TVs is fine. For some reason, it streams fine for 2 TVs. But if I was to play a PlayStation online or something, I would be lagging the entire time while the other TV is streaming,
God, I'm sorry.
which leads to me raging and cussing out and just getting off the game.
So I can't.
But-
Are you installing it yourself, or someone coming out to install it for you?
Oh no, yeah, but shit, I got a technician coming out this bitch.
Oh, I can't wait for him to set it up. Like, oh yeah, your house can't handle more than 7 megabytes.
That's what I'm dreading.
Oh my god, it's like, oh no, this house, the wires are ancient. You're gonna have to get everything rewired for more.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. But all right, that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you all for listening. This has been another installment of Below 500. Leave a like and subscribe to us on YouTube at Below 500 Podcast. And if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts at Below 500. Listeners, if you have a question you would like us to answer on the next episode, follow us on Twitter at Below 500 Pod and tweet us your question or slide it into our DMs. Until next week, goodbye.
See y'all later.